All right, here we go again. I'll explain how this works. So, if it were just some local people, an FBI, DHS, or whatever, it wouldn't happen like that. It's not going to affect a national mission or a mission so far from here. So, it's required to include people in the leadership of the agencies, possibly directors and secretaries. I mean, I'm not beyond that having happened to me. And they just, perpetrate the fraud like they're my buddy. I've already had several of the like they doing this like I'm the like the like I they just only happened to me a year or two. Like well, actually some people that probably don't even know maybe their whole life. Like, oh, you're gonna be arrested. This is what it's about. I was like, bullshit. You'll be arrested. So somebody in the higher ups is blessing it, and then your stuff will fail. So everything I help you with will reverse, and will become you just be a putz. Because I'm actually when I tell you what to do as far as uh, what I'm telling you to do about tactics and all that, it actually goes into you, which means you can't not do it. But if you attack me and it goes to a certain level of your agency and department and government, then it'll reverse because you lose God's protection also. There's a lot of money out there. People take money. Unfortunately, a lot of the money's narcos, sex traffickers, and those type of things. I'm gonna turn the volume up a little bit here. No, it's definite. You're taking money. So you have somebody that's probably in a leadership position, a major leadership position, either in that operation or in the government, like in the administration. Oh, God, don't play that game. Like the reality is, I'm supposed to be paid for tons of stuff. If I was paid, they could do this all day long and it wouldn't matter, right? So again, it's still part of a major psyop that was designed to just to get me to actually kill myself probably starting, 35 years ago for sure. There were things, in the beginning, maybe they were just kind of like fringe stuff. So I don't consider that part of it because it's probably longer than 35 years. Right? Well, like I told you, I was molested as a kid in the 90s, right? Maybe even the late 80s. I think it started in the late 80s. We started prosecuting. Like when I grew up, pedophiles weren't even, nobody even cared unless, they stepped over a certain line. Like, what was that guy's name? Uncle Eddie in Philly. So he had some weird, really weird, crazy thing going on. He had like Buck, like that dude Buck. If they die, or if you have a ton, like Uncle Eddie, where you have a ton of people, right? They would, but they, So what happens in the late '80s? All of a sudden, it doesn't matter. No statute of limitations, yada yada, right? Or I think it's no, yes, no. I think that's what it is in some states. But so they got paranoid because they were going back in history and arresting people. Because of course DNA and all these other things were picking up. And then also with that picked up the fact that if you were raped as a kid, you could say something and move it forward. I don't know if it was just lawsuits or criminal or both. I can't remember. I think some states it was both. Right? So they would pay to have me done. The person or one of the people that did me, I know was in the stock market. So right at that point, everybody was starting to make money in the stocks also. So he had money, that's for sure. Probably had like IBM or something. Right. Made $1 trillion off of IBM. Right. It's Satan. So it's like I'm the bomber when I'm helping Austin with the bomber case, that kind of shit. No, it was no little thing. They came in and did their role play and tried to and destroyed my life. Really did all over again. It was just picking up again. Right. Well, that's what the suicide is. They reverse everything, right? And people freak out and they kill themselves. Well, so you have cop killers here, and they'll say, "Well, we're cleansing our own ranks." Bullshit, right? Well, I'm tapped in now. You touched me enough, and now I'll say who you are and what your excuses are and why you say what you're doing, and I'll tell everybody the truth. Now they're murderers, and they're paid by narcos, sex traffickers, and pedophiles paying protection, right? And other things like foreign governments. You're not the blue line, any of you. That's why they took the right for the blue line away. I've read that already because they say it's the blue line. But so you're telling me that if a crook pays a cop to kill a cop, the action is blue line? I mean, that's what they put. That's what they've been putting out, shit like this. So obviously they haven't been busted before, right? Well, it's more money they've ever seen in their life. I'm sure that's how much they've been offered. I'm sure of it. Right? And narcos don't want to go down, man. Moving millions, if not billions. No, actually, millions to this county. Well, because they supply Pitt. They're part of the supply in Pittsburgh. Like, live in nice big houses, put on airs. Maybe they're even part of the LDS church at this point. Why wonder? It's the beast. I'm not, I'm no longer shocked, man. The whole LDS church is a criminal and a devil. Working with the dirty cops. And probably are the dirty cops in some cases. I'm not a denomination snob, not at all. I'm actually reverse, but when when you're it, all of you, you're it, and that's how it works in this world. With white judgment, you meh, 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 meh. So moving home and in, they were able to move a lot of propaganda. You have to. Cash is speaking about it. You have to identify the felony. He wasn't killed because he was committing a felony, but it's a risky thing that he did. The woman is still alive because she didn't have a firearm. It didn't trigger any weird set of reactions. So again, this is something they do in Minnesota. They set cops up, and then they say the cop is wrong, and like, oh, she was just trying to protect somebody, and the cop was wrong. Right? There's no such thing as protecting somebody while you're committing felonies. Right? I mean, yeah, you could probably find one case in a million, but not that case. Right. That's what. But you can see that woman that touched the flashbang. She's not supposed to be out there. For all I know, she's supposed to be committed for her own protection. Right. When I agree, Larry. She don't look like she's there, and of course she was just wounded. But I mean, look at it. It's like, what the hell is that woman even doing out there? Oh, she's saving the community. They're trying to take our narcotics and sex trafficking away. That's pretty much it. That's what they're doing here in Butler County. That's who's paying the sex traffickers and the narcotics. All right, I got sex trafficking down the street. I'm sure of it. Unless they gave them the buzz. Hey, hold off on that for a while. Well, somebody's around. Thanks, Larry. Sex trafficking is probably one of the least even with all those arrests, is one of the least enforced crimes. Tell you the truth. Right. especially if they're not in a major city. If you're sex trafficking, go out a little bit, like Butler County here, nobody will probably do anything. Right? No, I'm not sick. I know what you're doing. I know what you did. You launched your psychological operation. And the problem is to go, well, it's about buying something. Well, the anti-power and the psychological uh, operation around me that you had to engage in, which is the same thing as, because the goal is to sexualize me. That's one of the goals. Right? So it's Rainier stuff, MVXIM, whatever that's called. Those 3 psychological principles. That's what they're using. And other things. You have to realize they've been using this for 30 years, 35 years, actually. They had to destroy my wife to actually effectuate it. Thank you. Now they know what they're doing. I'm waiting on the Lord to find out what I'm going to do about the thing I'm supposed to purchase. So their job, actually, when I help the government, to tell you the truth, this is how it happens when you help CIA and all that, like I do and have. They're supposed to find a bed for me, and if they could give it to me, they give it to me, like for free. But they, would find the best price they could, maybe even buy it themselves and cut it $150 and give it to me. Like send it, here it's for sale. Right. I buy it and that's that. Right. That's what they're supposed to do. So they're using the same system that they know exists. They know they can pay people, but they take away with it. And they take away because they're criminals and devils. And are paid by foreign governments, narcos, sex traffickers, and pedophiles seeking protection. Which one am I? I'm the angel from God that turns your whole fucking world upside down for at least 25 years for your crimes and your sins against the people. Right? You're the thing that causes people to follow. You are reprobate mind, all of you. That's what they're doing. They're trying to and what they do is they find people that are part of this, that are sex criminals, and they put them at the victim, hoping that they can put like a spell on them and bring them on into sex crimes. York Digital Record, they spoke about it when they spoke about the courthouse sex ring. It's a certain level of brainwashing people into crime. That's what they do. That's what they're paid to do. They'll go to hell for it.